Right, I'm aware this lighting, while it looks sick, isn't ideal. It's not ideal to have lighting coming from the back here, but I can't film anywhere else. That's ridiculous. I'm gonna just perch here, I think. Get on this. Yeah, go on then. Now this is the first time actually that I've used the manual camera settings, which is how a camera should be used. Problem is, I'm not very good with a camera, so I might go through this whole video now, having timed it perfectly for this sunrise, did that in the last video, and I might have just fucked it up. But we're gonna see. You live and you learn. Modern life, I need to move. Always better when I'm moving. Modern life, I honestly believe is made for you to fail. Like, there's so many traps. I don't think that's like by design, but it's just it's a byproduct of society. There's so many traps, there's so many ways to get lost. There's so much going on. There's too much information, there's too much going on. It's so easy to get lost. Like, I speak to people all the time, and like, not even people in my close circle, but people like message me off the last video I made, five books that changed my life, which was sick. It was really good to hear from people. And it's so common that people feel lost. That's not good, that's fucked up. And that's like over half of society. So what is going wrong? And there's a lot going wrong. I've got 5 points down here that I'm going to go over, and solutions and answers to each one. But first of all, just touching on the point of there's too much going on. The state of this world right now, and always really, because of humans, is just fucked. Like, you think about the amount of wars going on, race wars, religious wars, people fucking arguing over gender, and all this other shit that just doesn't fucking matter. Now, I'm not saying there aren't like victims or people that come off worse in any of these areas, but for the average person, like, these things don't matter. And I say that in terms of like, not that you don't have sympathy for wars going on in this country or, you know, atrocities happening all over the world, of course you do. But what I mean is, we're not designed to take in that much information. It's only in recent history where this has come about because of like the internet and television, all this shit. Before that, humans only had the people here. You know, say I lived here, but which, by the way, I do live here. I haven't even driven anywhere mad to come here, which, how cool is that? Fucking unbelievable place. I don't know if the camera will pick this up, but there's a castle on the hill. It might not be in shot. There's a castle on the hill there. That's where I filmed the last video. I'll try and remember and I'll try and zoom in. Yeah, imagine this, like 1,000 years ago, 2,000 years ago, there would probably be only 1,000 people that lived here. And then you wouldn't have any way to contact anyone else. You know, maybe the next village over or something. Now we've just got access to all the information from everywhere, all over the world, instantly. And it's on you to filter all that shit out. And when you don't, you start to feel too lost. There's too much external focus. And that's where a lot of the problem for a lot of people lies. Too much external focus. You're not focusing on the internal. Because externally, there's an infinite amount of shit to focus on. Again, politics, race wars, finance, sports, music. It's endless. It's endless. So, yeah, you've got to subtract. That's the key. Coming into point number 1, comfort culture. Everything's based on instant gratification now, everything. Like, if you get up early enough and log on to Amazon, you can order something on Amazon Prime for the same day. Like, that is just fucking mind-blowing, but it's also not, because it's just normal. That's completely normal now. Yeah, you can order something, it just turns up at your door. The most random fucking shit ever. An inflatable donut Lilo for your holiday just turns up at your door. Hours after ordering. Like, even down to that, like to that level, it's all just fucking instant. And then same with like fast food, online shopping, you know, the amount of shops that are there, like that's all still an instant gratification, walking into a shop and just getting something. But then it translates over into like life. People expect life to be instantly gratifying and they don't have any patience. It's the first time in history where there's been pretty much zero friction. Now, I'm not saying everyone has no friction, but most people have no friction on the most simple basic level. For example, you wake up in a bed with a warm duvet in a perfectly dark room because you've got blackout blinds, in a perfectly temperatured room because of the radiator. You wake up, you get out of bed, the house is already warm because the heating's come on. You walk into the bathroom that's nicely tiled, and you flick the light on, you jump in a hot shower, you get out the hot shower, use your towel that's been on the radiator to dry yourself off. You know what I mean? Like that's literally the first 3 minutes of your morning. There's no friction, and there's a quote, and you might have heard this quote, and I like it, and I think it's relevant. Hard times create strong men create good times create weak men create hard times. That's the period we're in now. That cycle's come back around. Hard times. And not hard in terms of like actually hard, because people who lived in people who lived through the wartime, right? That was a really hard time, and I'm not saying this is hard in comparison with that, but I mean, as a society, we're getting fucking weak. We're in the process of creating hard times because everyone is weak, men and women, but men mainly. The answer to this: seek discomfort. You have to seek discomfort, even on a minor level. That's like part of why I say to people, or say to clients, get out of bed early. I don't tell them when, I just say get out of bed early. Like just little things like that where it's like, yeah, you could stay in bed for another half hour, mate. You don't have to get up yet, but get up. Little small shit like that. But then also go on a bigger journey. Training, fitness, events, push yourself. Try and be fucking better. I need to check I've clicked record on this because I was prang out. Okay, perfect. Comfort culture is making us all fucking weak, and the world weak. You must seek discomfort. You must go on a journey of transformation of some sort. 2, information overload. We are not designed evolutionary to move at the pace that we're now moving at. I believe in evolution because I don't believe in religion. Anyone that does believe in religion, I don't have a problem with your belief. I believe in a higher power, because how else do you explain this shit? How else do you explain what's going on? Like nothing can be ruled out. But I do believe in evolution. That theory to me makes sense. It does make sense. Bear this in mind, right? Evolutionary time scales. At some point, our brain size doubled over the course of like 1 million years, which led to us going from apes to humans. I buy into that. You may not, right? And that's okay. Just entertain it, please. Yeah, our brain size going from chimp to human doubled, or ape to human doubled over 1 million years. Brain size doubled over 1 million years, and that is considered ridiculously fast. 1 million years to double brain size, that's considered insanely fast. Like on an evolutionary timescale, evolution takes a lot longer than that. So if you think about us now in the last 2,000 years going from fucking horse and cart and fire to now we've got fucking this. I'm filming on this camera, I'm going to post it on YouTube along with 1 million other videos that are going to be posted, and like just the amount of information. Think of how many radio stations there are right now. There's a fuck off mast there. I'll get that in the video as well at the end. That's a radio mast, I believe it's a radio mast. I don't know what else it'd be for. Think of how many radio stations are just being pumped out right now. In the fucking air. How many TV channels are on right now? How many YouTube channels are posting? I'm going to be posting later. How many Instagram posts have already been posted today? And the sun's only just there. How many news outlets are fucking reporting negative stories? Like, there's just so much. There's so much. We are not designed to take in the world's problems. And this is where people go wrong, because they say, well, you should know about this war in this country, and you should pay attention to that. And yeah, I understand that. I'm not saying it doesn't matter. I'm not sympathetic. I am. But the point still stands. If you constantly just take in, what's this? Tell me everything about this war that's going on the other side of the world that I can't do anything about. Tell me everything every single day. I want to be fed all of that information of all the fucking negative and all the people that are dying every single day, because that's a great way for me to start my day doing this. It doesn't work like that, and it's not like you can never check on it, or you can't stay up to date with current affairs at all. I just choose not to, because I just think you've got to subtract, you've got to eliminate shit. you can't try and take everything in. You've got to eliminate shit out. That's the real key, subtraction. That is the answer, subtract. So with information overload, just subtract. I never watch the news. I don't put the TV on. I don't watch any live TV. I watch YouTube because I can find educational videos. I watch Netflix very occasionally, more so educational documentaries, films and stuff like that. I watch Scarface the other night because it's a classic. But more often than not, I'm just like educating. I've unfollowed pretty much everyone that I don't need to follow on Instagram because my business is on there and I'm using it all the time. So I was like, right, I need to fucking sort this out. I'm following 1,000 people. Fuck that. Cut that shit down. I'm following like 250 now, I think, something like 300. So cut everywhere you're getting information, just cut it down, cut it down, cut it down. Number 3, role models. Fake and weak role models. I think we're making the wrong people famous. We're not choosing who we make famous, but it's like how the algorithm works, right? Regardless of someone's morals and who they are as a person, if they know how to work the algorithm, they'll get famous and then they're idolized. So if you look at a lot of these Twitch streamers, I don't know like a lot of them, because like I say, I just don't, anytime I see it, I just try, I don't look for it, first of all. And then anytime I see it, I'm like, get away, I don't want to see any of that shit. But like, I regularly see clips of just fucking like, not just Americans, not just throwing them under the bus, is a lot of the time it is Americans. They're like American streamers just like walking through public and they're live streaming and they're just like terrorizing the public, you know, and they're famous and kids are like subscribing to them, paying them money, and these kids are now the role models of like young kids. Like, that's fucked. That's where we're going wrong. There's too much of that. There's too many role models, and a lot of them are these type of kids. Some of them are still role models, right? But also another part of it is the fakeness. How do you know what you're seeing? Is someone that you follow on Instagram, right? Unless they document everything, how do you know that they truly live that way? Like, I'm not saying I'm like a role model, but if you follow my Instagram, you will see that the way that I say I live. You know, I do this shit all the time. I only got this camera like a couple of months ago, but I do this shit, like come out on morning walks. Everyone sees me on my stories up at crack of dawn, journaling. You know, the things I'm preaching, I actually live. But a lot of these guys that people idolize, like people that just have materialistic shit, like how do you even know it's not rented car or rented gaff or, you know? Oh yeah, that's another good point. Compare versus compete. When you see a role model, there should be an element of like competing, and it doesn't mean that you will actually, you know, you're trying to beat them, but it's like, I think as men especially, like you see someone that's killing it in whatever realm, and then you go in, all right, cool, that's the level, that's what I need to be at. But with social media, it's compare instead of compete, because they're not close to you. When I started working in a gym, there was a lot of role models that I came across, guys I'm still mates with now. Like, I was working on reception then, I wasn't even a coach. They were all smashing it with the PTing and the coaching, and you see the level. And because they're there in front of you and you interact with them, it is like a compete thing. And like, obviously when I'm working on reception, I'm not competing with any of them, am I? But like in my head, I'm like, right, okay, that's what I need to compete with in a healthy way. When you see that on social media, they're not like real people, it's just someone you've seen. So like you get all this like inspiration and you think, wow, this guy's fucking sick, I want to be like him, or I want to live that type of lifestyle. But then like in your head, it's also just like, well, he's just some dude on Instagram, like it's just, I'm just never going to have that, or I'm never going to be able to do that, or whatever. And that's the problem with social media role models. I'm not pissed, by the way. I do realise like I'm stumbling about quite a bit. I just like moving when I'm talking. So the answer to that is find a tribe. Find a tribe. Find a group of people that are on the same mission as you, and filter out all the fucking bullshit. And you know, this is exactly what we do at Functional Physiques with the coaching, developing a community. Because like people that sign up for coaching, they're not only on their own journey, but they've just joined in a world of distraction, in a world of in a world of like too much fucking information. And like, where do I fit in, and who am I going to fucking look for, you know, finding like a tribe and finding the correct role models and people to surround myself with. You get that. And it doesn't have to be me. Like, this is not just all, I just want to help. So if you watch my videos but you see another coach you've been thinking about fucking investing in, go and invest in him. Just go and invest in him, like simple as that. Everyone should be investing in themselves, and I don't say that to make people just invest in me. It's like, if you see another coach, if you've been talking to another coach at any point in time, you've been following them on social media, you like what they're doing, go and fucking try it out for a month, 3 months. whatever. Find a tribe that way. Number 4, horrible standards. Horrible. This is a fucking big one for sure. Horrible, horrible, horrible fucking standards in society today. Mediocrity, if I could say it, mediocrity is rife. Standards have never been lower. The majority always rule, always. Majority thinking always rules. Because that's just like the law of averages, what most people think. And most people are operating with awful standards, awful personal standards, and the people they surround themselves with at work, sometimes even family, friends, they also have all awful standards. Terribly low standards, and they let people get away. Oh, it's all right. You don't need to go to the gym anymore. Just give yourself a rest. And like it's just fucking. It's awful. It really is. Like, this is probably, it's number 4, but I could have put it number 1. These aren't in any order anyway. But it literally is awful standards. Even with like the glorifying of plus size models on like Gymshark and these other big brands, right? Now, I have nothing against people that are overweight, people that are fat or obese, but that, and you cannot change my mind on this, that should not be glorified. That should not be plastered on social media and magazines and stuff like that. It shouldn't, absolutely not. And that's not a personal attack on anyone that represents. But what are we fucking doing as a society if that's now what we're saying? Yeah, look, be like this. Absolutely not. Absolutely fucking not. I can't even believe this is in question. It shows the state of our society when that is what's being questioned. Now, the message to these people should be, you're a great human being. We don't think any less of you. You just need to sort your health out for your own benefit. Not for my benefit, it doesn't change my life. You just need to sort it out for your own benefit. But you can't be plastering them all over marketing material. What are we doing? What are we doing? That's not just the only thing I mean by horrible standards. I mean across the board. It's never been easier to beat people. And you are competing always in this life. At work, at the gym, people coming for your girl or your man, for that promotion. You're competing everywhere you go, don't get it twisted. Like, you are only required to compare yourself with self, but at the same time, you are competing with other people. So it's never been easier to beat people. If you're someone who is easy to beat, sort that out. You can sort that out very fucking easily. There's a quote here from Marcus Aurelius. Be tolerant with others, but strict with yourself. Now, I fucking love that. I absolutely love that, because for me, especially with this, number 4, horrible standards, that is like the perfect solution, really. The best way to make someone rethink any behaviour that they're doing that is negative and they want to change, is to just fucking lead by example and go all in. And if you just sort yourself out, so let's say your partner or your children, you want them to be, raise the standards or be a bit more disciplined, even family members, anyone. The easiest way to do that is just to fucking do it yourself. Be really strict with yourself, because people learn not always from words, like they can learn visually as well and from being around people. So if you sat someone down and you had a talk with them and you said, look, you need to do this and you need to do that, normally the response is going to be like, get the fuck off me, get the fuck away from me. Why are you trying to change everything I'm doing? You know what I mean? Focus on yourself. Don't tell me what to do. And I think that's kind of sometimes rational as well. But the easiest way to do it is just focus on self. Be tolerant with other people, but very strict with yourself. They're going to learn from you being strict with yourself. Answer to this again, find a tribe, find some peers on the same journey. People that will hold you accountable. Your friends aren't always the people who you live like now. A lot of my mates, and I would say pretty much all of my mates, don't live how I live. And I'm still fucking mates with every single one. I'm gonna fall off this, I know it. I'm still mates with all my boys because I don't believe in cutting everyone off. Like, that's just like a personal thing. Everyone will tell you to do that, and I choose not to, and that's just me making my own mind up. I don't need someone else to tell me what to do regarding that. I'll think about it and then I make my mind up, which is no, I don't need to do that. But point being, when I'm saying my friends aren't like, they don't live how I live, You've then got to find a tribe and find some people and find some peers who do live how you live, because then you've got those to reference from, you know? Number 5 is dopamine. We are all living in a big deficit of dopamine, which is a key hormone. It's depleted most days, all day, pretty much. I actually spoke about this in the last book, the last video, 5 books that changed my life forever, brackets, seriously. Go and check that out because I talk about it a little bit more in there. But you need to study dopamine. Get on ChatGPT, type in, tell me exactly what brings my dopamine up, what depletes it in the normal day, in modern day life. Tell me how to get control of it. Explain it in simple terms. You should be using ChatGPT, guys. I actually mentioned this on a group call with my clients recently, because it is going to take over the world, and it is going to be the people who know how to use it that win, not just the people who use it, because there is a way to use it. So you should be using ChatGPT. That's a perfect opportunity for you to go do that. There is a solution to all of this, which is focusing on the internal. You are the root source or the root cause of how you feel, literally, because everything is happening here. Distractions, good things, bad things, terrible things, you know, everything is happening externally in the world. And when you focus too much on that and you let too much of that in, and you have no filter and no way to block that stuff out, you then are left with the problem, and you think it's the external world that's caused it, but realistically it's you. This is part of horrible standards, right? This is me holding you to a higher fucking standard. It is you. It is your fault, and I'm not saying that to put you down. It's just like, this is the first step. Just admit it's your fault. Or now you're starting to understand it's your fault. So how do you solve it? Focus on the internal all the time. Where you put your time, your energy, your money, the information you let in, your routine, your habits, training, nutrition. This is not a joke, guys. This is not a joke. Everything you do in this world, everything, comes from you thinking, I'm going to do this, and then you go and do it. All comes from you. You need to basically just like max out the internal, maximum amount of time into the internal. That is how you find peace, and you be found again when you're feeling lost and you're feeling weak in the modern world. There's a WhatsApp link in the description. We've got a 7-step blueprint at Functional Physiques, which I've covered in another video, which you might have watched. If you click that link and you send me a message saying 7 steps, direct to me on WhatsApp, then we can literally just dive into that 7-step blueprint. Couple voice notes, couple messages, no call, none of that bullshit. And I will outline those 7 steps in more detail for you specifically, and basically how to move forward. And that's just to kickstart you and get you out of this position that you're in right now. And for anyone that is very, very serious about making a change, there is also a coaching link in the bio. Oh, I keep saying bio, I'm new to YouTube. In the description. Come and join a tribe. Come and join a load of people that are on the exact same mission as you, that are facing the same problems that you're facing now, and they've already overcome it because of the systems that we have in place in the education. And surround yourself with people that know what it's like to be in the position you're in now, and you can also use them for accountability and motivation and that community feeling, you know, where there's so many people in the world and there's so many groups and things to do. You just find like a small little niche group of people that are exactly like you. That's fucking needed. That is absolutely needed. So yeah, that's the video. Let me just show you some of this view, some of this landscape. I hope the camera settings, I hope I did all right. Right, so let's see. There's a little castle on a hill there. That's where the last video was made. Yeah, look at this, guys. This is where I live anyway. Beauty. Appreciate you watching. Looking forward to the next one.